Courtney Clenney is probably the most famous OnlyFans model because of her stabbing her boyfriend to death. Her chart rectifies for Aquarius rising.
Courtney, who goes by the name Courtney Taylor online, was born as Courtney Clenney. She was born on April 21st, 1996 in Midland, Texas. So she decided to pursue a career in the entertainment industry at a pretty young age, and by the time she was 13, she had already set her sights on achieving that goal. She moved to Austin, Texas with her family and began working as an extra in films in early 2013 and 2014, knowing that she wanted to have some sort of element of Hollywood in her life. She appeared in several commercials for companies including Pepsi and other well-known brands. She also started getting into the music video scene, which is something that I feel like a lot of aspiring actors and actresses begin doing because it puts you on the map in a little way, and it of course is a great networking tool. So she appeared in several music videos. She appeared in the G-Eazy music video and BB Rexy music video, Me, Myself, and I. Just me, myself. And that was in October of 2015. So slowly graduating from commercials to now music videos, kind of climbing the ranks and getting more into the Hollywood scene. She also did a photo shoot for Playboy magazine, and that was later that same year. She then landed some small TV roles and some movie roles as well, such as American Psycho, The Lying Game, Unstoppable, and Boyhood. After getting a taste in the entertainment industry, she moved on to fitness training. In 2017, she finally made the move and moved to LA, and her Instagram account quickly grew when she did this. So she moves to LA, she becomes a fitness model, fitness training, she has this Instagram and it just starts blowing up. And before she knew it, she was at over 2 million followers on Instagram. And Courtney had said that she was inspired by another fitness model that she had been following. So she starts competing in these bikini athlete competitions where you have to train super heavily, you look just ripped, you're tan, it's like, intense training. But so she starts continuing climbing this social ladder of sorts, and she does this in an even bigger way when she decides she's going to create an OnlyFans account. Now, she creates this account under the name of Courtney Taylor, not her true biological born name, Courtney Clenney, and her profile on OnlyFans describes her as a full-time fitness model and a foodie, living with 2 dogs, Jessie and Ranger.
It is in this OnlyFans environment she met Christian Obumseli. Christian, an employee in her OnlyFans business, worked as her assistant, getting various photo shots of her as ordered by her management team. He comes up Scorpio rising. Notice the moon conjunct Venus in his 7th. This is what the public sees of him. He's been described as a nice, patient, caring man. Contrast that with Jose Menendez, with a highly afflicted Pluto in his 7th, who appears like a drill sergeant, berating, belittling, mean-spirited, so much so he was ultimately assassinated by his own sons. With Christian's moon and Venus dignified or exalted, this is good testimony. He will marry up, and in Taurus, probably be very profitable. That's his destiny. But he had that with Courtney because she was making oodles of money. She employed him, and he enjoyed the trappings of wealth living with her. She was willing to marry him, so this destiny had already come about, if he wanted it. The problem is, he's got all these planets in the 5th house of booty calls. Men who have planets in the 5th well aspected seem to be quite virile. Desi Arnaz's chart, I know, I'm always referencing Desi Arnaz, had a stellium of planets there, and he sometimes paid 5 or 6 women a night to have sex with him. There is phone call evidence that Travis Alexander, also having planets in the 5th, was quite virile. Both he and Jody were amazed at his lovemaking longevity. So it stands to reason that Christian himself was quite the lady pleaser in bed. Courtney had even described in one of her texts he was quite well endowed. Christian was a young man, in his prime, still sowing his wild oats. He had been with Courtney for over a year now, probably had been faithful, and now he's chomping at the bit to enjoy all the things that life had to offer. With Aquarius rising and her ruler Uranus right back in Aquarius in her first, Courtney could have a meteoric rise because of her physical attributes, but it also introduces a lot of stress into her life. And you can see much footage of her personal life that leaves her completely frazzled. Her stress comes from Christian. Christian secretly records video and audio arguments with Courtney on his cell phone.
However, in addition to the text messages, police find disturbing audio recordings on Christian's phone.
Cece, don't touch me! What is going on? Like, what are you gonna get this mad at me when I'm apologizing to you?
No, Christian.
Like, you're thinking I'm doing it on
purpose. Drop your high pitch.
Okay, I'm not doing it on purpose.
With Mars in Pisces, he becomes the actor. It's all smoke and mirrors. He's on his best behavior, the voice of reason, at a time Courtney is lashing out in frustration. He recorded 3 of their arguments without her knowledge. What was he up to? Future blackmail? Evidence for a legal defense? The judge refused to allow 2 of the recordings to be admitted as evidence because of a privacy issue. It constituted an illegal wiretap since Courtney was unaware she was being recorded. One recording was admitted only because Courtney was screaming loud enough for neighbors to hear, which nullified the privacy issue.
The main issue was the recordings from inside the apartment with no third party present. The defense added that they believed that the recordings made by Christian within their apartment are considered an illegal wiretap. They further argued this because the apartment was not a single apartment on a floor of multiple apartments separated by thin walls. It was on its own floor that contained its own elevator entrance. The judge said that some of the recordings were so loud that she had to turn down the volume on her computer to the lowest setting while reviewing them, and concluded that normal volume conversations were private, but the recording of Courtney screaming at the top of her lungs were public because there was no subjective expectation of privacy, and evidence suggests that the sounds did indeed disturb several neighbors.
When Christian was recording their arguments, he was the voice of reason, although frequently he was heard apologizing.
Cece, I'm so sorry. Okay?
Fuck you!
Okay.
You're not sorry.
I swear to God, I'm sorry. Just look at me. I'm sorry. Okay?
Fuck you.
I'm sorry. I
Fuck
should never told you to apologize to him. That's my fault.
No shit.
I should have never made
Fuck you.
Never made you feel
Fuck
like
you.
that way. Okay.
Fuck
That's fine. I'm gonna need to apologize.
Fuck you.
Okay.
Fuck
It's
you.
my fault. And I
Fuck you.
apologize.
Where's the fucking car?
It's in the car. I'll come back to you. Okay.
No, I'll go get it, and then you don't leave me alone.
You hit me.
Courtney sounds like a wild child, lashing out in frustration. He makes her look crazy.
Like, honestly, you make me look bad in front of people, I can make you look very fucking bad. So stop doing that shit to me. Unless you want it done to yourself. Think about it.
People have said Christian set her up.
As damning as the recordings seem, Courtney's attorneys are adamant that the only thing they prove is that Christian was an expert at manipulating Courtney's emotions.
It was a pattern of Obumseli to gaslight Courtney. He would get her all riled up and then record her secretly and then use it against her later.
Christian and Courtney's Aspen argument is being recorded by a third party. As stated, when Christian knows he's being recorded, he turns into mild-mannered Clark Kent with his calm, beseeching, reassuring voice of reason at a time Courtney is lashing out in frustration.
You let Milan say some lying-ass shit that affected you.
I didn't let her say anything. You fucking did it.
This is about some social gathering where Christian was apparently putting the make on a woman called Milan. Milan communicates to Courtney, "Come get your man." She doesn't want this guy's attentions. Christian is claiming she's lying, even though Courtney saw for herself Christian getting too close to Milan. Here we see Christian gaslighting Courtney.
Hey, let's go to Milan right now. Let's pull up to her.
No, I'm just gonna see her the scene.
No, she's in the group chat. Let's put her on the phone right now.
I dare you.
Now this is too funny. He is saying, let's confront Milan, even though he's betting Courtney won't take him up on it. It would be too embarrassing to confront Milan when Courtney already saw with her own two eyes what happened.
Let's put her on the phone right now.
I dare you.
Yeah, you dare me? Keep saying
you
it.
You do it.
Then stop saying it then.
Do it.
Then stop saying it then. Then stop saying it then.
Then stop saying it then. See how he wormed his way out of confronting Milan?
Come on. Ask her. Ask her, did I touch her breast yesterday?
Do you see how fucking instigative he is?
No, you're telling me I touched her breast yesterday when I fucking...
You didn't. I didn't say you fucking touched it.
You said I did.
You were leaning. Yo.
So even though he saved his rear by not having to confront Milan, he won't let it go. And ultimately he goes right back to that daring, call Milan. A practiced liar, Christian knows that since Courtney backs down on confronting Milan, it gives some clout to his side. Courtney had her suspicions, but now she's got solid proof and good reason to boot him out the door. Christian cannot let that happen, as he's not about to give up on this cash cow anytime soon.
Oh, you're dumb as fuck. I actually don't agree with you. Actually, I'm done.
Okay.
Can you send him home?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm done.
Okay, fine.
Fucking done. Done. Because you're fucking you're costing me money. I didn't do shit since I got to this fucking house because of you.
You let Milan say some lying ass shit?
No!
So he still won't let up on Milan, because a good liar is a persistent liar. No. You misinterpreted what you saw. Before you know it, a liar has you doubting yourself.
Come on, baby.
Okay.
That doesn't even sound right.
Christian, you're fired.
Fine.
Hopefully, shut up.
You will never see me again. You are the most
good bitch. Good.
I ever met.
So she fires him. I don't see him turning around and leaving. Instead, he starts charging her. I guess he forgot he's on camera.
Hopefully you will let me.
Courtney.
Fuck you too. Get the fuck out of here. This isn't your fucking house.
Yeah, cool.
It's not my house. You're just like my fucking boyfriend. Get the fuck out of here.
Just like your boyfriend?
I can actually get shit done if you're not here.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, I'll remember that next time.
Get out of here. No, that's not gonna be the next time. Get the fuck out.
Stop touching
Get out.
me. Don't touch me again.
Good thing, get out, bitch. Get out.
Bitch.
Courtney spends more time trying to get this albatross around her neck to get out, but he simply won't leave. If he had left when she repeatedly demanded, he would still have his life. But there was no way he was going to give up his meal ticket. When was he ever going to get a gig like this again?
You never loved me. The way you talked, the way that you treated that fucking girl last night, you fucking embarrassed me. I don't want anything to do with you.
Embarrassed you yesterday.
How can people see her as the aggressor when all she's doing is defending herself?
You're really just self-conscious. You always talk about, oh, Christian, you like this. I say, what did I tell you before? You're the baddest person in this bitch. No one has anything on you.
He's in damage control now. He's given up calling Milan a liar. So now he's trying a new angle. He's complimenting her. He actually does manage to get back into her good graces because they are seen strolling in an Aspen store afterwards.
Fight. And then the next one that we have is the hat store. So, presumably this was after the fight, and they're good, they're together.
Let's have an encore presentation of Christian's lies.
I would anger you. I'm sorry that she lied to you. I did not say that to Milan. I'm so fucking...
We're over that. We're past it.
But that's what started it.
Yeah, because disinterested third parties always walk up to people and lie to them for no apparent reason. I can't help but see an analogy of Christian and Courtney's relationship to that of a pimp and prostitute. Some pimps will play the boyfriend to get the woman to fall in love with him. Once she does, she'll do whatever he says to please him. The next stage is to get her addicted to drugs. Then the pimp has complete control over her, even if she falls out of love with him. People have witnessed similar behavior with Christian.
Anyway, like I was fucking sober for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And now why am I not sober? Because of you. But you're hindering my progress.
That's right. She's 2 weeks in sobriety until he comes along. Other people have witnessed him pushing drugs on her.
Now last, let's get into this preview of the TMZ Fox docuseries that's going to air tonight at 9 Eastern. We've got 2 clips, but this first clip is involving 2 other OnlyFans models that created content with Courtney Clenney at some point, who also had met Christian Obumseli. They seem to be standing up for Courtney. What do you think? So, here's their title for this clip: OnlyFans model Courtney Clenney, violent rages escalated by drugs supplied by now slain boyfriend. And again, this is a TMZ exclusive. You know me and my pronunciations, but maybe Patty K. We'll go with Patty K.
The thing that stood out to me the most, and I will remember it to this day, is the way Christian was offering drugs to Courtney very quickly, very freely. Christian would literally kind of on a platter be like, here's coke, do this line.
Like Christian liked when she was a little bit up, I'm not sure why.
So Christian seemed to like Courtney when she was messed up, not sober, and she's not sure why.
Christian's Scorpio rising with his Pluto ruler in Scorpio wants to dominate and control. Courtney's Aquarius rising with her Uranus ruler in Aquarius rebels. Which one will win? The famous elevator footage where Courtney is seen pummeling Christian makes her look crazy, but the reason she went ballistic was because the elevator opens up into her apartment, giving Christian full access. At the start, she was desperately trying to get the elevator doors to close before he comes barging in. And once he got in, she was furious. He was not welcome, not wanted, and uninvited.
But what about that elevator video showing Courtney wailing on Christian? The Clenneys say it doesn't tell the real story.
What is not obvious, that elevator went directly to her landing to go into her apartment. And so you can see how desperate she is for him not to follow her. She's trying to push him off the elevator because she doesn't want him to come in. And you can see he's like a rock, her trying to push him out. And she can't push him out. And I think the people who've shown that video do tend to cut out the part where he has her in a headlock. He was swatting her off like a fly.
Courtney had Christian thrown out 7 times during her stay at that apartment.
Neighbors in the building reported that the couple had a long history of domestic disputes and that local police often had to come and get involved. So much so, in fact, that apparently Courtney had called the police at least 7 times in the last month. Another neighbor who had a clear view of the couple's home told media outlets that Courtney was physically injured after an intense altercation between the couple just a week before the stabbing took place. And this neighbor says, I could not tell if it was open-handed or closed-handed, but he was swinging at her.
He even found ways of breaking in by tricking staff into letting him into her place. One time she got locked out of her apartment. Christian had stolen her keys.
Basically, she lives.
Can you please let me into my apartment? Please? Yes.
Excuse me, hold on. What's going on?
Okay.
Where's your apartment? Do you have a key?
We have.
Ma'am, you don't need to talk to him. Where's your key? Where's your key?
In my apartment.
So you got locked out. Okay. Okay, and where's your ID or anything so you can let him know that you live in the apartment?
In my apartment.
So everything's in your apartment.
It's all under my name. I pay the whole rent. He has never paid a freaking dime of rent.
When he couldn't get into her apartment, Christian slept on sofas in the lobby. People made complaints on why he was there.
The front desk personnel, this young lady, I was actually, with the other guy. We were walking around. We came back. She informed us that.
Who's she?
The front desk personnel.
Okay.
She informed us that Miss Courtney, her boyfriend, was trying to get into the elevator with her, but she had like this.
Okay.
And she had her hands out like this, and she was like, "Oh no, don't come inside the elevator."
Okay.
So initially, me and him, we went upstairs because he was down here for a long period of time. So we engaged in a conversation with her. We spoke to her. We said, "Do you want him to come up because he can't lounge in the lobby area because you know why? Because he's been just laying around on the couch and everything else." And some of the residents was feeling like, why is he here and everything else.
Courtney said she paid for everything. He never contributed anything, which was one of the fights they would have. Before the final stabbing on April 3rd, 2022, Courtney had actually stabbed Christian on 2 other separate occasions. The first time she stabbed him in the leg, the second time in the face.
And as you can see how deep it is.
Courtney would exhibit this behavior when she was angry and drunk. It seems drinking would release her inhibitions. She even took a knife to a previous boyfriend. She also acquired 2 DUIs. It's really a conflict of interest for Christian to want Courtney drugged or liquored up. He likely wanted her in that weakened state because it's easier to dominate and control her. But he miscalculated. Christian was making no progress with Courtney. Instead of gaining more control over her and perhaps eventually her money, she was slipping away. She was now fighting him to keep him out of the apartment. He was losing his cash cow, which was absolutely forbidden. 1 week before the fatal stabbing, a neighbor who had a clear view into Courtney's apartment saw Christian smacking her around.
She was on the phone for 3 hours. He came out from the other side where you guys are standing by the elevators.
Yeah.
And he was listening to our conversation the whole time, like standing against the wall, peeping. That was, about 3, 4 in the afternoon. She went back inside, not sure what happened. Me and my girl went out Saturday night. We came home real early, like early Sunday morning, 3:30 a.m.
Right.
Go in the kitchen, get something to drink, get ready to go to bed. I see him, my girl saw it too, in that bedroom that's facing out to a street. Bam!
Punching her?
Oh yeah, hitting her. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm like, babe, look. He saw us looking, fucking blinds go straight down. Next day, there was another lady up there on the balcony. Not the same chick, not the blonde hair.
Right.
Not sure who she was. He was pacing all day on the phone like this up there by the elevator, all day. Not sure what's going on. Then we've been seeing the cops coming here every so often. And then today...
Going to that same floor?
To the building. Okay. But then we see you guys here a week later after what we saw there. So just kind of,
He said he witnessed a 55 there like a few days ago where the dude
last Saturday.
Last Saturday.
Sunday morning actually, about 3:30 a.m.
A few days after the smacking, the lobby manager called the cops on Christian because of his charging Courtney.
She said no.
She said no. I said, "Are you for sure?"
Okay.
She said, "Yes, I want him to leave the property." I said, "Are you certain for sure? Do you want him to leave?" "Oh, no. I said, "So I'm gonna call the police because he's causing a nuisance in the lobby area.
Okay.
Because he can't be in a common area unless he's gonna be in your apartment. That's totally different." So somehow she locked herself out of the door. So we had to come back down here to go retrieve the key.
Okay.
We get down here to the lobby area. Her boyfriend comes charging towards her, and we actually try to get in the middle of it. So I told Artisha to go get the key so she can go back into her unit.
Okay.
The boyfriend actually came after her, and Paul was walking towards there. And then I just said, enough is enough. Police need to be called. She said she don't want police to be called. But when it's in a common area and something happened like that, my safety is the residents first.
Correct.
We had residents out here, filming all this stuff going on in the lobby area and causing the nuisance. I called because based on we still have him walking around the property, and we need to have.
So where is he at now?
Last time we saw him, he was on the ground level.
Okay.
The cops asked Courtney if he was dangerous. This is the first time Courtney ever admits to physical violence from Christian. Before that, she would always say, Christian would never hurt me. He would never lay his hands on me. Apparently, Christian had stepped it up to the next level. If the calm, cool voice of reason and profuse apologies wasn't going to get Courtney under his control, maybe he could beat her into submission. Saves a lot of time and effort.
Those type of restraining orders were granted by a judge.
So what can I do to be safe now? For my 2 dogs and what can I do?
Okay, explain to me why you don't feel safe.
I'm not comfortable.
Explain to me why you don't feel safe.
What am what?
Why is it that you don't feel safe with him? Has he threatened you? Was there any type of physical violence to you?
Yes.
And I ask you, I don't even know how he looks like. You understand? It's your questions that are making much of an...
I am... Right now, like, I have not always been a victim, but, like, right now I'm a freaking victim in the situation. I'm scared to go downstairs and walk my dogs. I just walked them and I told them, you don't have a chance, and now all of a sudden this is all happening.
What's his name?
Christian Tobetchuk Obumseli.
Christian?
Please, just, like, don't get me kicked out of my own apartment.
We just want him getting... We just want him out.
I'm scared. I'm scared of him at this point.
A few days later, the stabbing occurred. Here is what happened.
So, here's the official version of events and timeline according to the prosecution. On Sunday, April 3rd, 2022, Christian left their Miami apartment around 1:15 p.m., and then he returned at 4:33 p.m. with sandwiches from Subway for him and Courtney. Before returning at 4:01 p.m., Courtney live-streamed herself on Instagram in what seemed to be a bit of a Q&A session with her followers and her fans. She wore the same outfit that police later photographed her in after the murder. And her behavior on that live was suggestive, in my opinion, of her being on substances, whether under the influence of alcohol, maybe she had smoked something, but her demeanor was a little bit odd, to me at least. Courtney called Christian right before the live at 4:01 p.m. and then again at 4:33 p.m. Now, when he left earlier that afternoon, Courtney had realized that Christian stopped sharing his location with her. Because Courtney didn't trust Christian and was exceptionally jealous, this was a major source of contention for the two of them. So when Christian finally did return hours later, he turned his location on again with Courtney, but she didn't do the same. Within the next half hour, Courtney called her mother at 4:43 p.m., and they chatted for 6 minutes. Then she called her mom again at 4:49 p.m., and they spoke for 7 minutes. At some point between 4:43 p.m. and 4:57 p.m., Courtney stabbed Christian in the chest with a 6-inch serrated kitchen knife. Courtney's mom later said that she heard Courtney say that Christian was lying. So, what I envision as this is going down, and I wasn't there, but here's what I envision based on the timestamps. He leaves to go get these sandwiches a little after 1 p.m. He turns off his location. This, of course, pisses Courtney off because she's jealous. They have a history of a toxic relationship. So she's calling him saying, like, what the why are you turning off your location? He's not responding or not answering. She goes live on Instagram. It appears she has maybe been drinking. He finally returns home at 4:30, turns his location back on. She calls her mom saying, he's lying. In my opinion, most likely accusing him of, where the hell have you been? It doesn't take 3 hours to go get sandwiches and you turned off your location. Like, you're sketchy. She calls her mom 2 different times while fighting with Christian. I believe one of the times was venting about him lying and her just being maybe under the influence and irate about the situation, and then the other time after the stabbing. Then at 4:57 p.m., Courtney called 911, and this is when she asks for paramedics. At the same time, neighbors reported a disturbance to building management, who then phoned security and also called the police.
Perhaps he thought by slapping her around the week before, he would not have to hide or explain his suspicious activities so much. She'll get used to it. But Courtney was furious. Irrefutable proof he was cheating, leaving her no longer in a state of chaos, confusion, and doubt. As I said, Christian miscalculated when he wanted to keep Courtney liquored up and weak because she was always angry and drunk whenever she took a knife to someone. She had been drinking that day, and she was livid.